Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another stream, obviously a Premier League review. I've done a few of them, at this sort of time. And obviously with the midweek games, obviously I'll do my predictions tomorrow. So, obviously we'll get them done now. And as you can see in the title, I'm joined again by Chris. How are you, Chris?
I'm good as always. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks, mate. I'm all right. Let's just looking forward to this and getting back into this review. And we won a game, so that was always nice to see.
Yes, lads, we are back.
Especially against Man City as well. But let's go through the comments before we get into it. It says, yes, the legend is on your stream again. Honesty, is the best policy. Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up, Chris. Big up yourself as well, mate. And
hope you're well on its way as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The honorary Luton fan says, yes. Big up yourself. And we've got a few Luton fans in here. So up the town.
Absolutely, no, keep fans and comments.
Yeah, exactly. Where are they? They're nowhere to be seen. Do you know what I mean? They're usually up in my DMs. They're not quite there now, are they? Or some of them are, but they're getting rattled out here, so I'm just leaving it. I mean, I'm laughing at it. But anyway, so obviously the first game of this game week was obviously the Friday night football. Brentford took on Brighton. And funny enough, we talk about Luton and that. I think these teams are, I think Luton are sort of going in the same sort of project, as these kind of teams. I just think they're years ahead, both of these teams. You look at Brentford as well before they went up. They failed to win the playoffs the next year, and then they won it the next year. Could it happen with Luton? We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, obviously it ended up being a 2-0 win for Brentford, as you can see there. And obviously it was one of them performances where, Raya, I don't really rate that goalkeeper for Brentford, but he had a very good game in this game. Obviously got a clean sheet. And, in that first half, I was very surprised with how, Brighton didn't score, but then it was how good Raya actually was. And then a bit later on in the half, Brentford started piling up a bit of pressure. And obviously Ivan Toney scored a very good flick. And, he's showing why he should potentially be on his way to, the World Cup with the performances he keeps, putting in. Obviously, he put him in the lead. And then obviously there was a bit of madness between the managers. Obviously, it was kicking off a little bit between them. They both got a yellow card. I think, if I'm correct, it's for a tackle right near one of the managers, and then it, set them off in that sense, which we've obviously seen before, and we've seen in the game today in that sense. So, yeah, that happened. They both got a yellow card. And that was really it from the first half. Really, it's just Raya was just on fire, on absolute fire. And then obviously Brentford started getting the hold of the game and obviously got the goal. And then obviously going into the second half, approaching the 25-minute left mark of the game, Brentford got a penalty, definitely a penalty for me. Ivan Toney gets fouled and he took it very well. And obviously that put Brentford in a very good position. But Brighton was still, coming at Brentford. It was just Raya had a very good game. It's just keeping anything out. Even defensively, they weren't actually too bad either. So, credit to Brentford. Obviously, my score prediction, I did go with a Brighton win. Chris, I know you went with a Brentford win. I just thought the form Brentford were on, Brighton obviously got some good results in the last couple of weeks, especially that 3-3 at Anfield, of course. I thought they could have potentially got something here. But, Raya just had a brilliant performance and Ivan Toney just turning up again, really. But what did you make of the game from what you saw, Chris?
Well, from what I saw, which was, on them Sky Sports highlights, they normally do, where you can watch every highlight. And, I have to second your opinion, to be honest, because as much as the storyline might tell a different story, might just say, yeah, it was a comfortable win for Brentford, when it wasn't really, because David Raya had to make a few saves, to be fair. And to say that about in a lot of games this weekend, that the teams that got beat have actually been quite unlucky to get beat, because they've had their own chances, sort of thing. But Ivan Toney should be in the World Cup, in my opinion. Well, in the World Cup squad. But no doubt that Southgate will probably end up calling bloody Ollie Watkins, knowing him. And but yeah, Ivan Toney, I think he's a proper striker for me, and class act as well. And his first goal, lovely, lovely finish with the flick, and he loves his penalties as well, which will be good for England if they're in the penalty shootout. And but big win for Brentford after they've got one hell of a beating off Newcastle, didn't they? And I think Brentford are now back on track, and I think they're in the top 10 now, or in the top, well, definitely in the top half. Because not much split these two teams, to be fair. With obviously Brighton, I know Brighton were in the top 5, I think they were. So I think big win for Brentford, and both these teams could potentially finish in top half this season if they continue. But obviously, once the season goes on, probably both teams might suffer a bit of a drop off in form at some point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. Where I don't actually know Brentford's fixtures coming up, but I do believe this is where they start, kicking on again. And they had glimpses like that last season where they had some games where they lost, pretty heavily, but they still, obviously, as we know, especially for their first, time in the Premier League, ended up doing very well. And then obviously Brighton, as we know, like you said, we're in the top 5, and obviously last season they got their highest ever top flight finish. So a lot of people still think they could be in that similar position as they was, and they've got some decent results under this new manager, and Raya was just very good. It wasn't like they were poor, like we said. So yeah, that was that on that game. Really, man of the match for me, and I'm sure you're the same, Chris, is easily Raya, really, or Ivan Toney, but I would go Raya.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So
because without him in goal, it'd be a different result.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go through some comments. David says QBR. Velv's loving it. Obviously, the win versus Man City. Hold that and all of that. Big up Hanno as well. He says, yes, T and Chris, big up yourselves. I'm not going to watch your stream live as I have to sleep for school. But yeah, no video on the Clips channel tomorrow and potentially on Tuesday. Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, I'll promote that when you release that. Or them, should I say, if it is both of them. Said Brentford will draw. No, they won, and it is right before we play them. Oh, so that's who they got next. Is that midweek then, I'm guessing?
Yeah, midweek.
Nice. Do you know where that's at? Is that at Brentford?
Yeah, it's at Brentford as well.
Oh, I remember last year Chelsea were quite lucky when they got out of there with the 1-0 win. So up the Chelsea and the town. Bye, guys. See you later, mate. Big up yourself. But moving on to the next game, which is obviously a game you sort of done a watch along to, Chris, and then obviously it was a bit of a madness going on. But
thank God it cut off as well.
Yeah. The game didn't quite, wasn't quite what a lot of us would have expected it to be. Obviously, Leicester, one of the teams that have conceded the most goals in the league. And then obviously Crystal Palace, obviously not been the greatest of starts from them. They're still, lacking sort of stuff in some games, as you can tell. And yeah, this was not a great watch. Thank God for me, I wasn't watching it live. I would have been if Luton wasn't playing. I'd have actually put this game on. So yeah, thank God in that sense I didn't. But Chris, I'll let you take this away with obviously what you saw of your watch along that you did. And obviously I know that's not a lot, but still.
During the season, mate. Honestly, I thought we're the better team. They look like the team. If anyone was on the store, I mean, miracles can happen, but if they were on the store, was probably going to be the most likely. They weren't. They were like one of them chances where they're not big chances, just more like opportunities, sort of thing. And I think Crystal Palace are more happier with the point, in my opinion. Away from home wasn't the greatest performance from Pirates. They were threatening on the attack, but I thought the centre back, the sign was it. I think it's 12 phase was my man of the match throughout the day, and the way defended this season, I think them keeping the clean sheet this season probably sums up 2022. If I'm being honest with you, but yeah, it deserved to end 0-0 for me. Storyline doesn't lie, and then there was some boos for Rodgers. This is one of them games for Rodgers where his team didn't do quite enough, but they were better team in terms of the chances that they were made in the game. But obviously, like I said, they can't afford to sack Rodgers because he's got this big 10 million payout. So it's all like the fans saying the boards would take action with their banners are got up. It doesn't cost them a lot. That's the thing. But I think Leicester's next remain games, to be fair, looked quite favourable. And look, I could turn it around, but yeah, deserved their 0-0. And I can't really say much else about the game.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I'm not going to go on for too long because obviously it was 0-0. But yeah, from what I saw, it definitely deserved to be a 0-0 as well. It was one of them where some of the chances, the sides had, they were terrible. They were just not really good enough, and yeah, it wasn't a great one. And like you said, Palace will definitely be happy with the point. Obviously, Leicester still...
It's a point away from home as well.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And obviously, Leicester obviously on the relegation zone as well. So, it's one of them really. There's not really too much else to say. And yeah, that's it really on that one. But we'll move on to the next game, which was the only game of the weekend I actually got spot on. The Leicester game, I said 3-1. I don't know what I was on. To Leicester, I don't know what the hell I was on, but there we go.
Yeah, I said 3-1 Pirates.
But yeah, obviously this game, I got this right. It's one of them. It's a pretty obvious 1-0 or 1-1 sort of game for me.
I've already said 0-0.
All that. Obviously, Nottingham Forest, again, they're another side that are up there, obviously conceded the most amount of goals in the league. Took on a Wolves side who, obviously, a lot of games I've seen them this season, they've failed to, put the ball in the back of the net. And if they do, it's like the occasional one. They've got quite a few 1-0 wins this season, especially at home. So I just thought with that, they would edge it in that sort of thing. And obviously they did. This was the one of the two 3:00 games yesterday. And yeah, I wouldn't say too much really happened in the first half. It was obviously more the second half. Obviously Neves got a penalty. For me, yeah, it's definitely a penalty, and he's always gonna put the ball in the goal. You know what he's like most of the time, even from distance. But yeah, very good penalty. Keeper did go the right way, but it was a really good penalty that he had no chance really in that sense. And then obviously Forest had a penalty themselves. Was it a penalty? Oh, for me, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. It's 50-50, in my opinion. Could go either way, but obviously it was given as a penalty, and Johnson took it. Very good save from Sarr, who I thought had a very good performance. Probably the man of the match. Jose Sarr for Wolves. Obviously, got clean sheet. He made some really good saves as well when Forest did come, and have their chances, which were majority at the end, but obviously still, got Wolves to 3 points, and that was that really. Very good 3 points for Wolves. Obviously, they haven't actually officially, as far as I'm aware, I know they didn't for this game unless anything's come out today, but I still don't believe they've got a manager either. Obviously, the Sevilla one is not going there now, so yeah, they're still on the hunt for one. And it shows you, the mess Forest are in. Wolves don't even have a proper manager, and they're just not getting anything out of the game. And yeah, it's going to be a long season for them. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that one. Chris, what would you like to add?
Yeah, Doctor echo your opinions on this game. I think Wolves just about. It's hard to say deserve to win, but they're just about edged it. Right, in my opinion, I think Adama Traore being back in the Wolves team probably makes a big difference with him in attack. As much as he hasn't got end product, he's just a nightmare for defences to deal with. And I think that's a bit of an indication that potentially Nuno could be coming back to Wolves as manager. Because I had to look at that lineup and it tells me that is a Nuno Espirito Santo back at Wolves. Which is ironic, really, because when Bruno Lage was sacked, I said to my dad, Nuno's done back there. I can see it. Because you know what football is like. It's just strange things happen, and he only just recently got a job in Chennai, in Saudi Arabia as well. And it does look like he's going back to Wolves from what I've hearing and seeing. So it's going to be interesting in that one. But yeah, the game, bit like went for Brighton, really. Jose Sarr being probably Wolves' man of the match for me. And like it's a long season for Nottingham Forest. I think it's down to the amount of players they signed as well. I mean, it's just a mess. Signing that amount of players, it's like sorry, if it was, it's like an analogy where you did probably Trevor Torrance your money and she doesn't come back with the groceries and she just buys the same thing sort of thing. Just buys things just for herself. And that is not involved transfer business. So it's just a mess really in terms of the transfer recruitment. Obviously the past week they obviously sacked the head of recruitment, which is a good decision because this didn't seem right at all with the amount of players they signed. It's like a whole new squad, never mind a whole new standard 11.
Exactly,
And it doesn't take, you know how long it takes for players to settle in as well. And I just think they shot themselves in foot really with the transfer business, and it's a non-season ahead. But if anyone can keep Nottingham Forest up, I think Steve Cooper can. I still think he is a good manager. But there's going to be so many teams in Square Days in battle, ain't so yeah, I think that's all I'd say on that really. Well, big win for Wolves, and I think Wolves are playing midweek as well. So it'd be interesting to see if Nuno is a manager by then or someone else, because you never know with these bloody manager rumours. Because people might be adamant Nuno's done back, and Nuno be probably saying in interview, "What the hell are you on about?" So sort of thing. So it'll probably be the Tete manager in charge then from midweek. Then they'll probably go from there.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. And it it links back to what Kenny said here, about it being a 6-pointer game, because I generally think Wolves will be down there as well, especially with how things are going at the moment. So yeah, it's one of them really. Like you said, obviously massive win for Wolves in that sense. But yeah, I'm going to go through some comments because I've missed a lot of comments. Big up Kenny, of course. Big up Blue Terrier as well. He says Forest are going down with a fiver in the bank. He's going to love that one. Obviously, after the playoffs last year. Big up the Frost Zone as well. He says, hey all. Big up
He's going to be a happy Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Especially with Liverpool as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then big up Footy Plays as well. He says, yo, big up yourself, mate. But moving on to the next game, which was obviously the other game at 3 p.m. In the Premier League yesterday, and I got the outcome right. I knew it'd be a draw. I went with a 1-1. Obviously, big news for Fulham going into this game. Obviously, Mitrovic was back, and of course, he scored, especially with how he's been this season. So yeah, obviously that happened. He was back again. So obviously, a lot of people thought he would score neutral or not. Seeing that, Bournemouth up, obviously, going into this game well as well, especially under O'Neill, obviously still unbeaten since he's come in. And it started off very well for him. 2 minutes in, Dominic Solanke getting a goal. Billing, another player I think is a very good player. Obviously linking up well with Solanke, good goal by him. And obviously that was very early on, like I said, 2nd minute. And then a bit later on in the half, 22nd minute, Fulham get a goal from a corner, Diop. And then literally not too long after, Bournemouth make it 2-1. Lerma with a goal. Good layoff by Solanke and a good finish by Lerma, to be fair. The right side of the goal, a very good finish it was. And obviously that put them 2-1 up. And then obviously going into the second half, obviously that's where they got the penalty. Mitrovic obviously scored from the penalty spot and made it 2-2, making instant impact coming back from that injury against Newcastle, coming back and scoring in this game. And yeah, like I said, it was a decent watch. Leno made some very good saves in the game as well. He made a double save at some point. It was in the first half actually. He had a very good performance. And like I said, when Fulham signed him, that's a good signing, especially for a newly promoted side like Fulham, in the sense where he's paid for Arsenal. He is a very good shot stopper as well. His distribution can let him down a little bit, but like I said, his shot stopping is brilliant, and for Fulham, that's a very good experienced signing in that sense. Obviously, the guy's played in European football as well, so yeah, that was obviously a good signing there. And yeah, it was one of them where I think both teams would take the point. Especially Bournemouth away. Obviously are still unbeaten, and Fulham, after the last couple of results they've had, obviously that heavy defeat to West Ham and obviously the Newcastle result as well that they had. I think they'll take it. But Chris, your thoughts on this game?
Joy to watch, in my opinion, with the especially as a usual, the amount of goals in the game. Could have even been more, to be fair, with the other chances in the game, if it wasn't for Yeno and Dole as well. And like I said, I think both teams, I agree, I think both teams will take a point, because it could have ended either way at full time, the way the game was going. Bournemouth probably be more disappointed because they had twice and Fulham came back twice. But still a point away from home for Bournemouth, still unbeaten in Dario O'Neill's interim spell as manager. And I will keep saying it, I've said it to you many times, that I'll bet you dollars from a flurry that if Dario O'Neill gets the permanent job at Bournemouth, these snot-clobbering footballers will drop their performances, and then Bournemouth might be back in the bottom three. Obviously, it's just an opinion. I mean, Dario O'Neill took down the madness. We don't know. But that's only for us to find out, really. But that's what I would think would happen if he got the job permanently. Because we've seen it before with a lot of teams when they had interim managers. They have a dud one of them, dud spell then permanent manager disappointed, and it ends up chopping like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, but this was definitely one of the games I enjoyed watching this weekend, and Seante and Mitzvah, who started goals for fun in the Championship. To be fair, Storm goals for fun in the Premier League. I think Seante started through this season as well. As hard as Mitzvah, so them two don't be crucial for both teams if they are going to stay up in the Premier League this season. I don't agree with Kenny saying Bournemouth are already safe. Still far early in the season. And like I said, if only they were disappointed permanently, could end up being like a sack of potatoes, chopping like a sack of potatoes, and we might be talking at the end of the season saying Bournemouth finished bottom. This is how tight it is in any league, to be fair, especially the Premier League. And yes, you're chancing the top of the Premier League, then that's like comparing apples with oranges. So yeah, that's all to say in that way. But yeah, no, I have to say, yeah, no, probably man of the match for me. Because Bournemouth are then unlucky not to win.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'd probably have to agree, to be honest. Like I said, even though he's conceded to, he did do very well. And I see what you're saying. Bournemouth did have a few, good chances, towards, well, both teams did, but obviously they had the ones that you thought were going to go in, especially that double save. So, yeah, I think I'd have to agree with that, to be honest. But let's go through some comments. Yeah, I know. I just tend to look at what's in front, and then I just say it like that for most people. But hello, Fletcher. Big up James, obviously Brentford fan, my cousin. He says Chelsea going to get smoked. Oh, he's coming.
To be fair, was he the same person that said Brentford would get smoked off Newcastle?
Yeah, he was. He actually was. So fair play to him.
I hope you're right. I hope Chelsea do get smoked.
Yeah, like I said, going into that game, last season, Brentford were very unlucky not to get anything out of that game, especially the one at home. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember it. Oh, the away one, they won, didn't they? It was like 4-1 or something, wasn't it? So,
yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. So, you never know. You never know. Especially the way Ivan Toney's playing. If Raya plays like how he did, flipping hell. It could be like, we'll get into the Chelsea game in a bit, but Wolf says, hello, Tyler. Hello. James, please speak Chelsea. Everyone's wanting it to happen now. And then obviously Fletcher's going on about a big game in the Championship next week. See Luton versus Watford, or shall I say Watford versus Luton, or shall I say Twatford versus Luton? Sorry. But yeah, it's going to be crazy, mate. Honestly, flipping hell. But yeah,
Have Watford got a new manager yet?
Yeah, they've got Bilic, haven't they? They've got Bilic.
Up there.
Yeah.
Oh well, we see how long he acts.
Yeah, exactly. They did beat Norwich yesterday, which I didn't really want to happen because then obviously we've got Norwich on Tuesday. They're going to be angry from that. But then again, we do actually have a decent record against Norwich. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, moving on to the next game, which is obviously the 5:30 game yesterday. I did watch most of this game live, to be honest. Saw the second goal, obviously, on replay. But Tottenham, very close on my prediction. I said 2-1 to Tottenham.
Yeah, I said the same.
Yeah, ended up winning 2-0 against Everton. Everton didn't have a shot on target, pretty poor from them going forward. Not an awful lot, I'd really say, happened in the first half, from what I can really remember. It's pretty. Oh, I remember sitting there. I was like, "Oh, really? 5:30 games this boring?" Do you know what I mean? It was one of them. But obviously, going into the second half, that's where it started getting a bit more lively. Obviously, Tottenham getting the penalty. Pickford knew as soon as he'd done that, it was definitely a penalty. And Harry Kane, that was his 400th game, I believe, for Tottenham. And obviously, he took the penalty well, against his England teammate. And obviously put Tottenham into the lead. And then obviously shortly after, not shortly after, towards the end of the game, Højbjerg getting a goal. Took a deflection, but he'll take the goal. And obviously from that moment in, Spurs were in a very comfortable position in that sense. But like I said, Everton going forward, they're pretty poor, just blazing shots over the bar. And that's the Everton I'm used to seeing. Don't know about you, Chris, but that's the Everton I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't start uphill movements, to be honest with you.
Oh dear! But talk to me about your thoughts on this game.
To be fair, Everton had the chances. Obviously, talking about the shots that were Pierre's over. I think they landed here in Taro. To be fair, the ball so that the Marie Pierre's over. But that's the thing. That's the problem with Everton. That's the only thing they act. It's in the attack. Like I said, they need a proven goal scorer. They haven't got one. Mopé's not a proven goal scorer. He's a decent striker, but he's not going to be someone to rely on for consistency. But yeah, I mean, as for this game, it's like once the first goal went in, the first goal was a big goal, in my opinion. Because once Spurs got that penalty, it was a penalty. It's just clumsy from Pickford, going back to his old habits then. This is not good signs going into the World Cup. To be fair with you. But, I mean, Pickford had a good non-spell, though, hasn't he? Been good for Everton. But then, I said it with both of these goalkeepers, for Spurs and Everton, they both have a mistake in them. Who always has a mistake in them. But because he won the World Cup, he's a world beater, apparently. Well, I will say Sabibe, the former Everton right back, won the World Cup as well, of where he's at. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, Spurs deserved the win in the end. Again, storyline doesn't lie. First goal was crucial, and they obviously finished the job off, didn't they, with the last 5 minutes from Højbjerg, who is very underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League.
Yeah,
And he's a Conte player as well, Conte midfielder that he has that aggression. And once Conte went to Spurs, I thought, yeah, him and Højbjerg doesn't work well together. And he plays for Denmark as well, doesn't he? And Denmark got good players, as we all know.
Especially in that midfield as well.
And he's a spine of a team as well, Højbjerg. So, obviously, just because he scored doesn't mean he's done door scoring one. But it was in the right position at the right time, and very good win for Spurs. Again, because I thought this would be a tight game. Because Everton's strength is defensively, but their attack is Sunday attack, if I'm being honest with you. So, but I think Spurs not that far behind top of the lead. I think
no, they're not too far.
5 points.
Yeah, something like that.
They're still in it, whether people like that or not. they're still in it because Spurs need you. They still need to go away to City, where they have a good record,
Yeah.
and still need to play odds as well. And Conte has always had a good record against us as well. So, but yeah, good win for Spurs, and Spurs is. I think Spurs can win the trophy this season, but it'll probably only be the League Cup. But to be
That's
fair,
exactly what I think.
But to be fair, that's all Spurs won in their trophy cabinet. To be fair, so they'll just take it. To be honest with you, and Spurs fans will take it. In other words, they just want to win a trophy, especially with the stadium as well. The size of the stadium and the club. Well, I say the size of the club. Just the players they've got in the team as well. Kane and Son should be winning a trophy for me.
Exactly. No, exactly.
So yeah, that's all I'd say on that really. But on Spurs, march on. But Spurs need to show consistency for me. Because they can be inconsistent where they'll probably drop a point in a game you don't expect them to drop a point in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. You look at, obviously talk about Premier League, but when you mention that there, look at the games they've had in the Champions League. Not so great. Last game obviously they won it, but before that,
Yeah, Conte's nemesis, isn't it? Europe. Doesn't seem to do well in Europe for me.
No, exactly.
It's very strange because I think he is an elite mindset, but he just seems to struggle in Europe. It's the same with other minds. They seem to have a nemesis competition for some reason.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's go through some comments. Do you know people that's going, Tyler? I think Alex said he was, but then he said the other day he's not too sure if he is now. So I don't know if he is. Other than that, no, mate, not that I can think of. Big up Steve Games. He says, evening all.
Another sub of mine. Big supporter of my channel. Southend fan. Oh, and
Nice.
another Arsenal fan as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Ty doesn't like all these Arsenal fans coming in.
Nah, to be fair, I don't actually mind it. I don't actually really, except certain Arsenal fans, I don't actually mind them. Right. But there we go. And then Chris is getting a bit of love. Love your channel, Chris, says Wolf.
Where's my flowers at?
And Steve says, how are you?
Just my usual self, as always, as everyone knows me.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, I'm all right. Thanks, mate. I'm all right.
I like how he said, "How's you?" to me first. I was going to say, well, it's not my channel. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's all good. But moving on to the next game. I know about most of this game because I know my stepdad.
My favourite team.
Going off on one. Chris says that obviously I didn't predict them to win. I predicted them to lose, and they draw. You know how it is with Southampton.
So in other words, basically like the Tyson Fury and Andy Joshua contract debacle.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's on, it's off. It's on, it's off.
Yeah, exactly. But very annoying. My prediction here. I said 2-1 West Ham. I did. I said to people, I've got a feeling Declan Rice and Skamaka's going to keep up his record of scoring. Obviously, Declan Rice did score, but obviously we'll get into that in a minute. But obviously, Southampton taking the lead in the 20th minute. Obviously, Perraud, I think that's how you say his name, with the goal. And then obviously in the second half, West Ham come out a lot better in my opinion. Obviously, like they needed to. Declan Rice scoring a very good goal. That's his first goal in the Premier League for like a year, I believe it was. A very good strike from him into the bottom right corner. And West Ham had chances before that. And the annoying thing is, like I said Skamaka and Rice to score. And Skamaka, he hit the post. Oh, it was frustrating.
Imagine you put a bet on that.
Oh no, mate, I know. It was gutting in that sense, but yeah, looking at the game as a whole, Southampton, I think they will take that point, just because West Ham, ever since they've had them, Europa League, I always get that mixed up. The Conference League, games, they tend to, when that's tend to kick them on and then start doing all right in the the Premier League, and that's obviously what we've seen recently. Southampton, obviously they haven't had the greatest of results recently either. Obviously, Man City, it's one of them, especially away, and then obviously other results, they've been very inconsistent, and again that Hassan, who is another manager, people are starting to question. So I think overall they should probably take the point, I would say. But yeah, West Ham missed chances and really good chances to, take the lead, but it wasn't to be in that sense. So it's one of them. But Chris, your thoughts on the game?
I thought West Ham should have won with the chances they had. I think they'll be the more disappointed not to win the game. West Ham. I do agree. Southampton will be happy with the point. Despite Southampton, yet for the game, made it 1-0. This was a very lucky defeated goal, to be fair. Just a bit of defeating, but they all count. And yeah, I think Southampton, I don't know what to make of them really. At this moment in time, they do look out of ideas for me under Hassan Hutel. Hassan Hutel's been at Southampton since 2018, I'm pretty sure. He's been there for a few seasons now. And I don't think he's been backed by the Southampton board, in my opinion. Because I think Hassan Hutel is a very good manager. And I thought he would be getting better if he was backed. He would be getting better with the Southampton squad than the position they are in. Because I always thought if Hassan Hutel got backed, I could see them being back in the top 10 then like they were under the 1-0 Koeman days, where they were pretty in top 4 at one point in the month under Koeman, which was ridiculous, with the ridiculous team they had as well, before the Raphael started weighing them. And but I mean, I still think it is a good point for West Ham, considering they played Conference League on Thursday. My opinions on it playing Thursday, Sunday. It's going to be hard to be perfect. Getting 3 points, like win after win after win. And it would have been more of a disaster result if West Ham would have got beat. Then I would have said, yeah, bad result for West Ham. But at the same time, I think they might be disappointed they didn't win with the chances they had. So it is one of them way for West Ham. So, but yeah, Southampton look out of ideas for me. And well, now I said that, they'll probably go and win in midweek. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But West Ham still in good form. Unbeaten the last 2 or 3 games now, and they're still moving up the table, going in the right direction, which I thought they would. They only needed that 1 win, didn't they? I thought. Then I thought, yeah, they'll kick on. So I think West Ham will be fine. I still think they'll be top 10 this season. As for Southampton, I think they could be in trouble. in terms of where they're in trouble, because for me, they just run out of ideas. I mean, how long can they keep being inconsistent? They've been like this for the past few seasons now, and it will come to fight you, come back to bite you, and it will expose you and cast you out at some point. And that's when I wouldn't blame Hasenhüttl for walking either, if they do find themselves somewhere they're in trouble. Because at this moment in time, I think they will be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Obviously, at the start of the season, I said I reckon they'll just survive. And it's looking all over the place. Like you said, it's how long can they keep being as inconsistent, as they are.
They've been in the Premier League for 10 years now.
Yeah, it's been a long while, yeah.
So, your side, their time in the Premier League could be coming to an end. And then, if it is, I think the fans will have a wide door at the board, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that 100%. Kenny says, good draw for the Saints as they march in towards that golden 17th place. West Ham need to be winning more. Yeah, obviously, to climb up there. But I see what Chris is saying at the same time, especially with that game they played, obviously on that Thursday, which I did watch a bit of it. And it is away as well, so it's one of them, really. But yeah. Southampton losing Lavia is huge. He made the difference to that team. Yeah, I thought he was pretty good, actually. I thought he was pretty good from what I saw of him, actually. May survive due to just being the best of a bad bunch. Sides at the bottom look especially poor this year. Wolves can't score. Leeds are a mess. Everton poor attack. Leicester can't defend.
Very
Forest,
true.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Even Villa are dreadful. Yeah, they're not so.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that is why I actually put them 17th. I just looked at obviously at the start of the season, you're judging it more on, because obviously you haven't seen the teams play, you're judging it more on signings, outgoings, etc. And I said they would just survive, literally above that relegation zone. Hasenhüttl deserves better. Give him players Southampton. Yeah, he's a manager I do like, to be fair. I do like Hasenhüttl. I think he is. I think he's a good manager, but it's one of them, isn't it? So yeah, moving on to the next game. Kenny is going to be sending paragraphs in the chat. I already know how this is going to go. But obviously, me, I said 3-2. I thought this would be game of the week. Obviously, it ended up being one of the worst games of the week.
Well, I was right with that outcome, but not right with the score prediction.
What did you say for the score prediction?
I said 2-2.
2-2. Yeah.
I actually couldn't call it, to be fair.
Yeah. Let's get into it. I think the main talking point really is that Man United, the Newcastle free kick, where I didn't understand that. Like from what I saw, it looked like, they played it back, and took it. It just didn't really make sense to me. I thought, what the hell's going on here? And I just didn't understand that. And it was crazy, wasn't it?
This doesn't surprise you anymore in the pretty Premier League, does it?
No, exactly. It was. I just didn't. I really did not understand it whatsoever. It just didn't.
Every weekend in the Premier League, it's always something about pretty VAR and the officials.
Yeah.
It's like they basically are like the bots in control. Puts bots in control.
Yeah.
Just never perfect at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was It was, it was terrible. It just, I just didn't understand it. Really didn't. And that's despite Man U getting the result, obviously, last week. Even that Rashford handball, I thought that was stupid that they tried saying that was a handball. I couldn't believe it. Right? And you got to remember, I don't even like Man United. I was sitting there like, what the hell? It just didn't make any sense. But yeah, like as for the performance from United, I just I didn't feel it was great. Like Newcastle had some fairly decent chances, but like Kenny says, they just weren't really trying to put the ball in the box. But the main talking point from this game is obviously that poor officiating, and like Chris says, there's always one week where something's going on with these referees. Like we say, I know Chris says it as well. The further down you go in the English leagues, the worse it is. I had to witness it, or have to witness it week in, week out in the Championship. He has to witness it week in, week out in League Two. It's a madness. It's an absolute madness, especially for the Premier League, the most watched league in the world, and it's just this poor. It's a joke, to be quite honest.
And it makes it worse that having this anti-Taylor who's going to the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. It's
with the greatest respect in the world, not in this referee should be going to the bloody World Cup to face it. Being honest with you, but they always seem to choose one from each country. I think it is. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. No, it absolutely is. Fred didn't have a great performance. Obviously he's come out. A couple of people have given him a bit of criticism. He missed an open goal as well, like Kenny said there. Just like I said, Man United, they were not great, but the refereeing as well was just even worse. You know what I mean? But
Craig Parson, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was. But
I think, to be honest with you, I think the pussy cat with its paw puts in more use than Craig Parson, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, it's true. But going into the game, even though obviously I said goals galore, I knew it'd be a close game, hence why I said 3-2, but obviously nowhere near on the scores. But yeah, it's just one of them. It was poor all round. Performance is not great, officiating not great. It's just one of them. Obviously, Ericsson weren't in this game as well, which is obviously a big miss, especially if I was playing, more deeper than I would have expected. Obviously, still pushes up there and that sort of thing, but he's been good recently. Obviously, he wasn't playing in this game, so obviously that was a big miss, especially with how Fred ended up performing in that sense. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. There's not really too much to say, too much else anyway. But Chris, your thoughts on this game? Obviously, you said briefly, but
I think Manchester United missed Christian Eriksen because through his creativity, I think he would have opened Newcastle up defensively. And Bruno Fernandes, a usual performance from him, being an absolute door spotter as always, trying to find the dots. I mean, you can say that about a lot of Man United players. So inconsistent this season. Marcus Rashford well beaten against Liverpool, and he turns into pretty. And he does nothing else after the Liverpool game. Sancho as well, he's the same. I mean, they're so inconsistent, these players, man, at Man United. This won't be controversial. We are still finishing above Man United this season.
No, I agree. I said it's Kenny on his stream yesterday.
I mean, we've been in terrible form, and obviously we're starting to pick it up now. And I think Manchester United, I don't really see this team finishing in top four, to be honest with you. They might maybe win the Europa League if they're lucky enough. I mean, if they're lucky enough, but that's depending on the team's dropping on the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just think it's going to be another season in the Europa League for Manchester United at best. As for Newcastle, I think Newcastle will still be happy with this point and this result. And Eddie Howe doing a good job, to be fair, at Newcastle.
Yeah, especially with people starting to question him and that. He's had some good 3 games since.
Yeah, I mean, with them games, they were questioning him about. I mean, what you do where it's not like he lost them games. I think they were only draws, weren't they, against Bournemouth, his former team. I want enough.
Yeah.
And this game, I think, I agree. I think it deserved 10-0. Not much chance. There were not much chances, were you? There were some odd bit chances, but I think Newcastle will be the happier out of the two.
100%.
If this was at home, then Newcastle might have to be disappointed. This shows how much has changed at Newcastle.
Yeah. Exactly. No, exactly. I'm going to go through some comments. Spencer says, hey, T, Kenny and everyone else. Big up yourself, mate. Obviously, Wolf is fuming about that. Disgusting draw. Disgusted. If Ericsson would have gotten better chances, yeah, exactly. Big miss, like we said. They're having their little debate in there. Like they always got to do that, ain't they? But yeah, that's that really on that. But moving on to the next game, Arsenal remain top of the league. This game again, another game that had a lot of controversy in it. Obviously, Saka getting the only goal of the game. Goal that counted anyway. Obviously, that I thought that was a very good goal by him. To be fair, obviously Roof and Net played forward by Odegaard too. Yeah, exactly. Very good goal from him. And then obviously, Leeds got a penalty. Patrick Bamford obviously missed the penalty. He put it wide. He actually ended up putting it wide. And obviously, there was another incident as well where they said it was a foul on Gabriel when Bamford went up for the ball. Did you think that was a foul, Chris?
On Gabriel, was it?
Yeah, Gabriel, yeah.
Then it's one of them bloody fouls, and it like you can understand why it's different, but at the same time you can understand why it wasn't different.
Yeah,
I
agree.
It's just a lot of nonsense now, isn't it? I mean, honestly, seeing these nonsense fouls going on, it just makes me want to put my head in boiling water at times. It really does. Hot boiling water. It's just like, just get the damn floor, for God's sake. And yeah, not a foul for me. I mean, come on now. Just get the damn floor. If it's handball or a Pierre and Studs like, in the back of him, then I understand it. But come on.
No, I'm like you. I thought it was very soft. Like, actually, obviously, I saw the highlights of this game, but I rewinded it and I was like, really? Like, have they actually given that? I thought it was very, very harsh. But Leeds, they did have their chances. Like I said, the penalty, Bamford, he put it wide. And it was a lot closer than a lot of people expected. My prediction, I said 2-0.
Rest in peace to my prediction.
What did you say?
I said fucking 5-0 Arsenal.
Oh dear. I'm seeing a bit, Velv. I just see that you said you got to go. But yeah, like I said, I thought it'd be a performance in which Arsenal would look, pretty comfortable. And I remember the game last year; it was 4-1 Ellen Road, and Arsenal obviously not doing. Well, they, obviously doing a lot up until that moment, and then obviously the end of the season, but not doing as good as they obviously are now in that sense. And credit to them. As much as there's a bit of controversy, they went to Ellen Road, which can be a very hostile place to go to, as we know. To keep up this record, obviously get another win, grind out another win. Obviously, it wasn't the most prettiest win, but they won the game, so you have to give them credit for that. And obviously, they remain top of the league. So yeah, that's really what I've got to say on that one. But Spencer says, who would have thought in mid-October City would be 4 points behind the Gooners for the lead? Still think City win it and probably comfortable. Yeah, I still think City will.
Yeah, I would have said. I would have said to that person, "Have you bumped your head?" But yeah. I mean, as with this game, I think Arsenal very lucky in this game. That is, and got away with a lot of luck, in my opinion. And the penalty decision. The penalty miss was not penalty decision. Penalty missed by Bamford. I think he's had, to be fair, had a few chances, and it's just one of them downs for Arsenal where the luck is on your side, and it is at the moment with Arsenal in the start of the season, but the table doesn't lie, and they deserve to be where they deserve to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I still stand by my point. So Arsenal fans won't like it. Arsenal will chop off after the World Cup. Manchester City will win the league by 10 or more points at the end of the season. Because Arsenal players will be going to the World Cup. They're going to be absolutely shattered. It absolutely shatters like a hippo being stung by beads. And that's what it's going to be like, really. And it's like the hippo's had enough of it. And that's what Arsenal players don't be like in the World Cup, especially with the heat there as well. And it's just something madness, really. It's just something madness, and I don't think they have a good enough squad depth either.
Exactly.
Brilliant starting 11, but ban Alfred's. Well, I wouldn't even say ban Alfred's bench. I would say poor bench, if I'm being honest with you. So, but credit where it's due at the moment for Arsenal. And massive credit to Mikel Arteta as well. Being given the time at Arsenal.
Exactly. No, exactly. I definitely agree with the squad depth. Even with, like I say, Jesus, if he's to get injured, who they're going to go with? Most likely in Nketiah. Yeah, they could play Martinelli up front, but then who are you going to put out wide? It's one of them, unless they change the formation. Even if Partey, gets injured again, which, we know that guy's injury record since he's been at Arsenal,
Yeah, miss it. I mean, Thomas Partey injury record, miss. Now he unstoppable.
Yeah, exactly. And then for me, I don't rate Turner their backup goalkeeper. So if Ramsdale gets injured, one of them minutes. Like they've improved narrowly on the squad depth, but they still need more for me.
He's another man in the mass contender, Ramsdale.
Yeah, true. He did have a very good game. So yeah, that is that. No consistency with the refs, which is what's so frustrating. No, exactly. Arsenal after World Cup have West Ham, Newcastle, Spurs, Brighton, United. Ask me after that whether they'll be in a title race. It's tough games there. Especially, Spurs, obviously North London derby. What usually happens, the home team usually tends to win that game. Brighton, It depends where these games are at as well for me. But yeah, that we'll see. We will see what happens. But yeah, moving on to the next game, which was obviously the game on TV out of the 2 p.m. ones. If you have Sky, and that was obviously Villa versus Chelsea. My prediction, I said 3-1 Chelsea. You know, I knew they'd win by some sort of two-goal lead in that sense.
Only predicting I don't like, I think.
Nice. But yeah, again, this was another game similar to Brentford game in the sense where the keeper was just on like Kepa was actually. I thought he was very good for Chelsea today.
Some's 2022 off, were you? I mean, Kepa. Who's been who was a headless chicken in the past for Chelsea, turned into a chicken with balls this month.
Yeah, no, exactly. I remember, obviously, I was on Hanno's watch along, and I remember a point where I was just obviously, I was trying not to give it away because I was in front of him, but that chance Villa had in the first half, and I was just thinking to myself, like, how has Kepa done this? Like, it was crazy. You know, like I said, had a very good performance. Obviously, got a clean sheet as well. Mason Mount obviously getting an early goal, which obviously put Chelsea in a good position. Obviously, Villa, you know, obviously didn't have the sound on, but I'm sure in there, as soon as Chelsea got that early goal, the atmosphere would have been very.
Oh, I mean, that first goal for Mason Mount was absolutely comical defending, honestly.
Yeah, Mings, what was he doing? Honestly, it was.
This is what we got
terrible.
to look forward to in the World Cup.
Oh, don't even start.
Harry Maguire, Eric Dyer, and Tyrone Mings as a back three. And down south there's going to be the leader, the Porter boy, with them three on the Porter. So I can't, honestly, it's going to be Yims when that happens.
I don't even want to know, mate, to be honest. But yeah, terrible by Mings. You know, I don't even know what the clear. It was awful. It went straight up. You know, down for Mount 1-1. Not going to miss that. Took the lead, and he's on very good form for Chelsea at the moment. You know, last couple of games he's been playing. You know, even the game against Wolves. You know, he was very good in that game. His link-up play and that sort of thing. But yeah, obviously he got an early goal, and like I said, I'm sure the atmosphere is very hostile, especially towards Gerrard.
Yeah, it was after the first goal went in.
Yeah, I could imagine. But yeah, obviously Chelsea had the lead. Like I said, I don't know how. Well, not even I don't know how. Kepa was just really good. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it was in that. Going into the second half, you know, Chelsea, you know, come out a lot better because Villa had a lot of the ball in the first half. They had a lot of the ball. You know, they were having chances. Like I said, Kepa was just doing really good.
And for me, I think Aston Villa's strikers are just not good enough as well.
Yeah, Ings is not that guy no more, and Watkins, he hasn't been great recently, has he?
No, I mean, there's a reason why Watkins, with respect, was playing in the Championship, and he's playing in League 2 one time as well, with Exeter, which I hate him for because of the famous League 2 playoff semi-final against my team, knocking us out. But yeah, I don't think he's done enough in the Premier League, Watkins. And like I said, Danny Ings is not that man anymore, unfortunately.
No, absolutely. But then Mason Mount scoring again. What a goal this was. You know, you don't usually tend to pull off free kick goals, well, often anyway. And yeah, what a free kick this was. You know, the way it dipped was phenomenal. And it was a great goal, which obviously put Chelsea 2-0 up. And yeah, like I said, Chelsea were a lot better in that second half. And Villa, they just weren't really, doing much in that second half. And yeah, obviously a lot more pressure on Gerrard. And I said if they, especially if they concede early, and lose quite. They didn't lose heavily, but they just weren't too great. Obviously, Kepa was good at the same time, but then like Chris said, they had some good chances. I remember Danny Ings, I think it was a diving header, if I'm correct. He had a good chance there, and it was terrible. It was terrible. It's obviously a lot more pressure on him. And I did say if they lose this with not the greatest of ways that they did, I said, he could be gone the next day. Similar to Steve Bruce recently in the Championship. Obviously he went the next day. Do you reckon it could potentially be like that for Gerrard, Chris?
Problem is, I think Gerrard should be under pressure, but Christian Pershaw has that connection with him. Obviously, both being at Liverpool under Rafa Benitez days in 2009-10. So I think, for some reason, that's the reason why Gerrard's job is actually still safe, in my opinion, because of Christian Pershaw connection. And but there needs to be a time where Pershaw needs to forget about the past with Liverpool, with the Liverpool connection, and same thing where the board needs to take action, but there is difficulties to get rid of a manager. I guess is completely different. What just payout clause, and this is obviously more different. I mean, it isn't easy to get rid of Gerrard, but I just don't see it happening. Just because of Pershaw.
That's fair enough then. But yeah, especially, like I always mention it, the expectations he come out and said, what they're trying to achieve this season. And you look at how they're doing now, it's definitely got to be question marks. And yeah, just some of the games I'm watching, it's just, they have got good players.
I even said when Gerrard was appointed that it's a very risky job for him. Because expectations are going to be top 10, potentially finish 7th in that final European Gates.
Exactly.
And their owners are ambitious. So, as Moss has said, Pershaw might keep Gerrard in the job. It's the owner's decision.
Yeah.
So, he's definitely under pressure. Definitely.
100%. No, definitely. So, yeah, it's one of them. Fletcher trolling Nathan Jones out. He is chatting absolute rubbish. Brad says, big up to Brad, by the way. He says, Gerrard will go soon, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely.
And by the way, does start for Graham Potter as well.
What's that, sorry?
Does start for Graham Potter as Chelsea manager.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But yes, see what happens when we're so
You're not being serious. If you are, give me a reason why in the chat now. But yeah, that's said about that game. I'll probably give man a match to Mount, even though Kepa had a very good game. Just thought that free kick was wicked. It was, and he had a very good game. Like I say, he has been very good for Chelsea in the last.
He split opinions, Mason Mount, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I think it's very underrated for me.
Fair enough. You know me, Tyler. I always like a bit of bad. Yeah, I was gonna say. Who are you then? Twitter ones that don't even go to the games. Oh yeah, get him out. Lose one game to like a team we're expected to lose to, and all these idiots are like crying at it. It's embarrassing, mate. Honestly, God, don't even get me started. It's like the QPR fans after them. How are we losing to an average side like Luton? What average side that got the playoffs and you didn't, you mugs? But yeah, it's one of them. No, I know you go there. I'm just saying the people that don't, that always chat rubbish on Twitter, Facebook annoys me. Don't know why I look on Facebook, but yeah, it's just where the most comments are for Luton. But anyway, last game, a game me and Chris will like. Obviously, I've done a watch long with Charlie. Big up to Charlie every time. You already know how it is. Obviously, Liverpool versus City. Going into the game, I knew it was going to be a game in which it wasn't going to be easy for Man City. I said that to people. I said, Chris said the same as well. With it being at Anfield, City, last 3 or 4 meetings. I think it might be 4 meetings. City haven't actually managed to win, whatever that's in. Even FA Cup, Red Tear, all of that last year, and I just knew the crowd's going to be well up for it. Of course, I said if someone wins, it's going to be by a goal. Obviously, I did say goals galore, 2-2, and obviously in recent times when it has been a draw, that is tend to be the main score. But yeah, if you're a Liverpool fan, brilliant game, to watch. And it was the nail biting, moments, especially in that second half where you're thinking someone's going to score, you just don't know who it's going to be. Obviously, the main not the main talking point. Obviously, the main talking point is the goal, but one of the other main talking points is obviously the goal that City got disallowed. At first, I thought it was for when Alisson had two hands on the ball. Sorry, but obviously it wasn't. It was a foul before that. Haaland, if he wanted Fabinho's shirt, why didn't he just ask for it after the game? You know what I mean, he could have just done that, but instead he wanted to try and take it off him already. But yeah, definitely a foul. You can't argue with it. It wasn't even like Fabinho was doing anything back, in that play. So definitely a foul. And obviously that got disallowed for that. And then Alisson getting another assist for Liverpool. I think that's like his third assist in his time at Liverpool. Because I was saying it earlier on the stream.
The most assists, the most assists by a goalkeeper in history. In Premier League history.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure he done one against Man United. I remember that. That was at Anfield as well. I'm pretty sure he done one in the Champions League. I just can't think who it was against.
And he done one against Norwich last season.
Yeah. Yes.
Where Salah scored, I think. I think it was Salah.
Yes. Or it might be that time actually. So yeah. Yeah. Nice. And yeah, it's brilliant. He slipped on it, but
could do with him in midfield.
yeah. And the turn by Salah.
World class.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially even that chance he had earlier.
Even Darren Neville was hyping it up.
Yeah, exactly. And especially after that chance he had earlier, you felt, he was going to take this one. Obviously, if he was on the watch along, the flipping buzzer went off at the same time. I was waiting for the moment. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to, go and then we score. That would have been stupid of me to do that. But really good defensive performance as well. I felt, obviously Gomez got man of the match. I was a bit nervous of him being at centre-back, only due to the fact the last couple of times he has played there, he's not been so great. He's been better as a right-back. Obviously, Milner was starting in right-back as well, which obviously a lot of us weren't. We're a bit, sceptical of that, shall I say. But Gomez, I thought he covered really well for Milner at times in that game. He's brilliant. The whole defence was obviously, to get a clean sheet against Man City, it's not easy to do. But yeah, a lot better, of a performance from Liverpool. And yeah, it was just brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Different set off, wasn't it? Set off, style.
Yeah.
Of course, we still went toe to toe with them. But obviously, we'd sat back a bit more. It's probably helped a lot more. And I think the change in style and formation it's been talked about probably helped us a lot recently. And it made us unpredictable playing that formation 4-4-2, which I thought it was, with Elliott and shot as the classic white mid and left mid. And this makes us unpredictable, and that's probably that probably won us the game, to be fair.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was a brilliant performance. It was just that is the Liverpool obviously we're used to seeing, and that's what it was there. But another talking point of the game was obviously when Klopp got sent off.
First time in his career.
Yeah, first time. Obviously, we've seen him get a few yellow cards, but I don't understand how that wasn't a foul. I understand his frustrations, heavily. it's like he's doing UFC, trying to take Salah down. I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I was like, what? The refereeing not so great yet again. But what do we? It's the same old, same old. But yeah, overall brilliant performance. Like I said, to get a clean sheet against Man City,
Team performance. That's what we want.
Exactly. And everyone.
Pure. Well, it wasn't pure, but yeah, passing.
Yeah.
Tackles flying in, emotion.
Exactly. No, exactly.
And the fans back to the best.
Fans are brilliant. Obviously, I didn't hear them, but I could tell. The way they were jumping up and down.
It was Yems.
Yeah.
When I was watching it.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people, no confidence. Not a lot of confidence going into the game. And Charlie, before we went live, he was saying, I said, you're probably going to think I'm mad, but I'm saying 2-2, mate. But he was thinking, I can't remember what he said. I think he said a pretty convincing win for City. And I said, mate, it's at Anfield. The fans are going to be well up for it. We're going to show that we are still a good team, despite how the season's going.
I said it after we got beat off Arsenal. I said, we've been so shit. We will end up beating Man City. You watch.
Yeah, exactly. I said to him about the record we have against City in recent time, home or away. It's decent. It's decent. The record overall's, beat them over 100 times. So yeah, I just,
let's hope we kick on now.
Yeah, no, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, let's not start jumping the bouncy castle just yet. Yes.
No, exactly.
We need to continue.
I'm not getting it carried away and saying, yeah, we're back in the title race, still top 4 race. But like I said on the stream, it could come very vital come the end of the season. In the fact, looking back at that game, Man City, it's not easy to always get 3 points off them, or even a point, sometimes. So, look at that, and that could have been a massive game which got us there. So yeah, that's what I've got to say about that.
Yeah,
Chris, I'll let you talk a little bit more about this one.
I think we should all apologise to James Milner, including himself.
Like I said on the stream, I don't mind if he's going to start at right back. I just feel midfield, it's too he's not that guy anymore in that sense. But at right back, I feel if he's got cover, with someone maybe in front of him as well, in that sense, in the midfield, like on the right side, I feel it's all right. Or even like Gomez on next to him. You saw it.
I think that's credit to Javier and Diogo Jota coming back to help the fullbacks. There was a time where Jota.
Everyone's coming back.
There was a time where Jota tackled Haaland in the bots.
Even Firmino was doing brilliant at that.
That's what we've been missing, really. We've seen it over the years. They've always been like that. And counter-attack, sort of thing. But yeah, City had their opportunities, but I actually think we should have won by more with the chances we had.
Yeah, exactly. Like that Ederson save, what a save that was.
I thought it was a sitter.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from at the same time. With the amount of space he had, I definitely see what you're saying.
Because he could have easily just robbed it over the keeper.
Yeah. And, we all know, he's a world-class player. We know he's got the capability.
But yeah, it's all if, buts and maybes in that time. You need to make a decision.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, like I said, it was when it was 0-0, it was very nail biting, and you thought, oh, he's going to get this goal. We knew someone would. But yeah, it was brilliant, team performance, like you said, and
and I hope, and I've got some tissues for Bernardo Silva as well.
Yeah, he proper wound me up, as you know, on the stream. When he was just
watching it. I just wanted to punch the TV.
Yeah. No,
well, if I was in the pits, I would.
You'd have done a clock, but literally on the pitch.
I wouldn't hold back. I wouldn't hope that. I would have just done a white teen on him. I would have just lost my head. And pretty done a Nunes on him.
Oh dear. But no, like I said, we move on. Obviously, to West Ham during the week, which
Damn, we should be winning.
Yeah, believe it will be a tight one. But yeah, no, I agree with you in the fact where we should really
obviously Jurgen be happy. Another midweek game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And then obviously won't go too far ahead, but obviously then after that on the weekend, early kickoff, Nottingham Forest away, which
he's done being good move then, Jurgen, 12:30.
Yeah, he's going to be in an even better mood, isn't he? Oh dear. But yeah, I think that's all of that. Like I said on the stream, Gomez man of the match for me. Are you the same, Chris?
Yeah, I agree.
Someone else? Yeah.
I agree. Dealing with Haaland.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Van Dijk was back to his best as well.
Yeah, he was very good.
But yeah,
the whole team, there's no poor performances, Like I said, to get clean sheet against...
Honourable mentions go to Ayer and Shota as well.
Yeah.
Helping the fullbacks, covering for the fullbacks.
Firmino as well. Yeah, exactly.
But nail biting them. Definitely one of the games of the season. I know the storyline might not say that, but just the drama of it.
Yeah. And it's still showing the games that it has been like in the past in that sense. It's been very tight.
And for me, one of those of the season as well. From Salah. Back-to-back world class goals from Salah at Anfield against City.
Yeah. And like I said, he would get a lot of confidence despite it being Rangers. Just the sense he's come on and got a hat trick, broke another record. I knew he'd be, give him a lot of confidence going into this game, despite how it's been for him at the start of the season and how he's, performed and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap all the games up. What we'll do before we end the stream is obviously we'll look at the table. I won't do any of the game of the week and all that. We'll leave that. I won't do them going forward.
And the answer's pretty obvious.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. It loves to tell me about these adverts I don't care about. But there you go. So that's the table as it stands. Obviously, with Man City dropping points and Liverpool winning that game, obviously it's put Arsenal even more in the lead. Obviously, top of the league.
Arsenal on TV points. In the mud.
Man City obviously still second, better goal difference than Tottenham, who are actually level on points. So they're not actually. I thought they were a couple of points behind, but they're actually not. Chelsea obviously fourth, went into the top four after that game last week. Manchester United fifth, Newcastle sixth, Brighton seventh, Liverpool eighth. So yeah, they went up there a little bit. Brentford 9th, Bournemouth 10th, Fulham 11th, West Ham 12th, Crystal Palace 13th, Everton 14th, Leeds 15th, Villa 16th, and then Wolves just above the relegation zone. And yeah, Leeds, Villa, and Wolves obviously all on the same points as well, which is obviously 9 points. And then obviously the bottom three as it stands, Southampton, Leicester, and Forest, but for some reason it's not wanting to show Forest. So there you go. That is that. Spencer says Brighton doing what they did last year, start off, then tail off. Yeah, I still think it could be a very good season for them. I still reckon they can definitely finish up there, like we said earlier. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, comments earlier as well. Kenny says Milner and Gomez phenomenal. Yeah, especially Gomez, like we said, man of the match.
I wanted the right hand side is our weakness.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and it turned out to be really good, of course. But yeah, that is the Premier League review for game week 11 done. Obviously, I'll be back again tomorrow predicting the midweek games. But Chris, where can the people find you?
You can find me on YouTube where I do all sorts really. Liverpool, Carlo. I'll be doing it. Unfortunately, I'll be doing England content when the World Cup comes round. So I'll put presses on be high for that. So obviously be F1. Well, F1 United States preview coming this week, even though F1's boring now, because Max Verstappen's obviously retained his title, fully deserved. Another domination, it's domination for him. And obviously I do DARS content, neutral content, and obviously we finally had some boxing this weekend. After last weekend's circuits that went on. So obviously I did my reviews for the boxing last night. I was watching all 4 events.
Yeah, fair play to you, mate. I fell asleep. I set an alarm and I fell asleep because they were taking so long for it to actually happen, the main event. But yeah.
And obviously I did a review on the women's event as well. Fair play to the women. Sold out at O2 Arena, and it was a fantastic event. And fantastic fight to make up for last weekend's debacle as well. We all know about that debacle, and the British crowd got what they deserved with an incredible fight between Seals and Marshall, which means women's boxing now coming to my channel as well, because I just enjoyed it that much. Better than men's boxing. Well, better than some of the men's boxing this year. Jesus.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, find me on YouTube. Just by my name, of course. Nothing difficult about that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And obviously I'll put it in the title because unlike Hanno's, it actually lets me put it in the title. So there you go. If you want to find Chris.
See YouTube no, I'm the fight.
But yeah, that is that. And yeah, like I said, Premier League predictions tomorrow. Hat show tomorrow as well. Obviously, preview Norwich, and
obviously don't sub to me. Sub to this Edson the attire.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. But yeah, like I said, watch along. Obviously, to Norwich versus Luton, and then obviously a Liverpool watch along on Wednesday. And then from there on in, I have to have a look and see when the games are, etc., to do reviews and that sort of previews, and that sort of thing. But yeah, don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Ended up on 14 likes so far. Don't forget to smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribers, we've gained quite a few subscribers in this stream. Chris's followers, so thank you very much for that.
Pleasure.
And yeah, I'm sure obviously Chris will be on again for another review some point in the season. Maybe even the next one, we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload or scheduled stream. Subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. Hanno is obviously posting clips on there. And like you said earlier, there'll be one on there tomorrow. I think it's going to be watch-along highlights to the game today. So that should be a good one. And so he'll probably put that bit on where the buzzer, he'll probably put that on. Flipping stupid, annoying time for a delivery to come. But it's what it is. And then obviously, if you want to follow me across any of my socials, obviously link to them are in the description. But yeah, sub to Chris as well. And yeah, until tomorrow, big up everyone, stay safe, take care, and peace.